So Metal's the Law radio show and YouTube channel has the honor to interview Mikael Salo Esa from MetalDeFacto. So welcome.
Thank you.
Both.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. And it was a long way waiting for the first MetalDeFacto album. After watching some covers from you and Sammy and Esa, titled as Trio de Facto on social medias long time ago, I got really curious about what MetalDeFacto would be in the future. And here we are on this historical moment here in Helsinki. So first MetalDeFacto concert. So are you nervous, and which are the expectations for tonight's concert?
Well, I'm not nervous at all, as you can see. Not yet. Two minutes before the show, you can see a totally different me, but that's a different thing. But now I'm just curious watching it because I work as a technician, so it's a bit different to see other people doing my work there.
Yeah, well, of course, first show for any band, I think there would be something wrong if it wasn't even a bit nervous. You wouldn't be even a bit nervous because, of course, we want it to succeed. We want to be good, and we want to leave a good first impression for the historical MetalDeFacto debut gig that's going to be written in the pages of history. So, of course, there's some little butterflies, but I think it's good because then when we go on stage, we're going to unleash all that, pressure from all the years just working on the album, but not being able to play live yet. So,
yeah, we worked for a long time with the album, so it's not finally nice to play the songs live.
Yeah, yeah. I think it took a while because it's the first thing we're doing, so we're kind of searching for the identity of the band, both production-wise, songwriting-wise, and thematically as well. So that took a while, but we're really proud of the album. People seem to enjoy it, so I think we kind of found our thing. And of course, we can experiment a lot in the future and do different things, but we've found kind of the core now with this first album, I think. So.
Okay. And can we expect some cover song tonight? Or
yes, we're gonna play.
Yeah, because
covers.
The thing is, we only have a 52-minute.
Don't spoil them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil. 52-minute album, so and we're headlining today, the first show. So of course we needed to bring something else in.
Yeah. Of course we could have played some new songs, but what's the point of it? Covers are fun.
Yeah, covers are fun. Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. How have you met Sammy and? Sammy, and how the idea of having a band together came out?
Well, I met Sammy through Esa, and with Esa actually contacted me already 10 years back, so maybe Esa can answer because he knows the whole origin.
Sorry. It's, basically I contacted him. He was in this, like, a discussion boards in Finland. He posted some videos of himself singing vocal covers there, and like I thought that he's like pretty decent singer for his age, and probably has like a good future, bright future with him. And look at him now.
And this is
so much wasted talent.
No,
but seriously, then we talked about it, like making music together. But he was so young, and he had certain obligations like school and
puberty.
Yeah, puberty and these kind of things. When the voice changes in the puberty and this. Yeah, well, basically those things. And after about 10 years later, I actually it was on a backstage in Germany. We had a show with Imperium. I work as a technician for Imperium. So we started talking about power metal there, and then I played some songs that I wrote for Sami. And we kind of okay, let's start doing this. That was in 2017, I think September or something. And then we contacted him when we got back to Finland from the tour, and we had a show with Imperium in Helsinki. And he came to meet us. We had a couple of beers and talked what is the plans, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and how drunk we're going to get doing it. And there it hit off. Then we started thinking about the other musicians who to bring with us. We had a lot of different ideas, and of course it came together pretty easily in the end. But first, of course, we were like, who to contact? Benji came through him, Atte came through me, and who's left? Mikko.
Yeah.
Mikko
joined a bit later.
Yeah, he joined a bit later. We got this with MetalDeFacto. We got this radio rock cruise, and Mikko was there playing with his cover band, and he got drunk with us, and then he started telling, guys, if you need a guitar player, I'm available." And
we
like
actually played him some demos of future MetalDeFacto songs that are not even released yet, and he got so excited about it, so he was like, "I'm in, if you need someone."
And like a week later, I called him and said, "Remember what you said?" And he said, "Yes, I do remember," and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I promise?
Yeah. Waking up in a hangover. What did I say last night?
Okay, good. And how has been the feedback of the audience and critics of Imperium Romanum album?
I was actually surprised how well. Like there's a lot of 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 reviews, which is completely mind-boggling. Because I think we can do a lot better even than this first one. Because this was still, we were looking for the sound and everything. We really loved the album, but the way the kind of the scene, the metal scene embraced the album was really, really encouraging. So now we feel that we want to push it even further.
I think we're on the right track now with this. And I've been also surprised about the reaction, because I played this kind of music for a long, long time. And my old band, Dreamtale, used to be kind of like this, that everybody spit on us, like, you're copying Sonata Arctica. Well, we started before them. You're copying them anyway. Okay, yeah, sure. But I suppose now it's a totally different reaction. I suppose what we're doing feels fresh for people, even though we're just doing power metal.
Doing what we love. Like playing the kind of heavy metal and power metal that we love and that we are not really seeing happening right now. Kind of like the 80s Dio, Halloween, Maiden, Yngwie Malmsteen, that kind of stuff with the neoclassical things and progressive elements and raw production. That sounds like the band is playing and not like a computer. And this is the thing why the Make Power Metal Great Again stuff happened. I think people tend to kind of misunderstand it a bit. Some people get a bit angry about it, there's great bands right now, and it's true. Yeah. But what the scene is missing is the kind of sound that we want to bring. It's not happening. And bands have very similar production, and they use the same tricks to make the drum sound. Everything sounds like a tight, package, a bit popish even at times, and that's cool. We love that as well. But we want to do that kind of raw, like Power Slave, Dream Evil, those kind of albums.
Like the first albums of Halloween, this
all
a
of
raw
the
production.
albums sounded different, and they had human error and human touch in them. So you actually get much more emotional impact with that kind of sound, in my opinion. But yeah, that's how it kind of developed.
Yeah. That's exactly one of my questions here.
Okay.
So let's make power metal great again. Is a slogan of MetalDeFacto. So why power metal? While the focus of most of the metal bands are exactly on black or dark metal, but I think you answered a little bit already.
Yeah, I think we covered that a bit, but we're making power metal great again in this way, to us. We're making music that we want to make. Yes, the music we want to hear, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because many people have pointed this out in the reviews that the sound is actually sometimes more close to heavy metal. If you listen to Ides of March, for example, someone could say it's much more something like Iron Maiden in the 80s than actually something like Sonata Arctica, musically.
Compared to Judas Priest also.
Yeah, Judas Priest and stuff like this. So it could be also heavy metal / power metal. But for us, power metal has always been this kind of, you take the 80s metal, but you add even more like the speed with the double bass drums and a bit more neoclassical elements. Yeah. So if you consider it like that, then you know what we're talking about and what we want to bring back, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So the idea of this first album was describe the fall of the Roman Empire. So which are the ideas for the next albums?
That's a bit of a secret, but I can tell this, that the next album will be. We will go to completely different region, and it's about this a culture which has very strong this like military tradition, and they are very obsessed about honor and these kind of things. So go figure.
Go figure. Yeah.
Okay. And why historical moments are being used on the lyrics?
For me, I always loved metal, the metal I listened to, because it had this escapism element. Like, you know, you have your normal life, you go to work, you go to study, but when you put on something like Rime of the Ancient Mariner from Iron Maiden or something, it takes you on a journey, and you can see all these pictures in your mind, and you feel like your pulse goes with the music, and you experience this kind of adventures and emotions. And the same if people would watch some movies or series like Game of Thrones, they want this kind of sense of adventure and escapism in their ordinary life. So I think it fits very well in the kind of metal we're doing. So if we would just make these same songs, same music, it sounds the same, but the lyrics would be about like applying for jobs and politics, I think it wouldn't really meet with the music, you know, in as entertaining way that you because if it has the wrong thing and you have all these topics, we really dwell into the character. So if you listen to the song, you can actually get the kind of the viewpoint of the character, so you can kind of relate, and this way it gets the human emotion in it. And I think it's a really powerful way to make metal lyrics, and it works for so many bands, you know, like Maiden, Imperium, and all these bands, so Blind Guardian.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then it doesn't confine you as composers.
No, not at all. It actually gives ideas. Like when you get the idea of a song, for instance, Germanicus, the song, the ending track of the album, it's basically the song has been written before there were any lyrics of it. I gave it the name because I read about this Roman general Germanicus who rise to power, and then the emperor decided that he's too powerful, so he must be taken out. And basically, the song actually musically follows the story of his life also. Like different dramatic parts of the song are based on what happened in his life. It gave me a lot of ideas. Oh, you like it, this part.
It's completely the opposite.
Yeah.
And you could musically convey all those events in that story, and all the emotional impact as well. For example, Echoes in Eternity, which is about Marcus Aurelius and kind of stoicism when it faces like kind of challenges when a loved one dies, and kind of the inner monologue with that. It's very human element song actually. Like you could make it like a pop song if you just took the wrong thing away. But you know, it's important to have the human element in it, and kind of think what the persons are thinking and what's happening, because then it becomes more real.
It's people can relate to it when they can relate to the characters. That's the key in every book, every movie, every TV series. If you cannot relate with the characters, it's bland for you. You don't have any emotions. You're not afraid for the characters. Even if you know the ending, you knew that something is going to happen, and still you care about it. Still you're afraid for the character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mika, you have been in many other bands so far, so which ones are you still singing on? And will you go on join them? Or could not be a busy show schedule complicated in the future?
Yeah, well the funny thing is, like if you're in like nowadays a musician in bands and stuff, it's so rare that you have a band that actually is so busy that you have to do something for it every single day and kind of like go on these long tours. At the moment, none of my bands are doing that, so I have plenty of time to do all of them. And the reason I do them is completely musical, because or music based, because they all do a completely different thing, and I use my voice in a very different way, so I get to explore different things musically, and that's very exciting. So that's the main reason, basically. It's people always ask me, why do you have so many bands? Why are you in this band? Why are you in this band? But it's like, well, I like this music and I want to do it. So it's like, what more reason do you need for art, creating art? You know, of course, in the future it might become a problem if one of the bands becomes really big and really busy. But that's I don't think about it now. You know, I think about it in the future if that happens.
He's building his Mikael Salo vocal universe.
Yeah, phase 1 is going right now.
Yeah, phase 1, and the last phase is phase 4 when there is the end game.
Yeah, the Avengers album is on the way.
Yes.
After all.
What?
separate ones. All my bands will become together.
Yes. The ensemble album.
Yeah. Mikael Salo Vocal Universe Assemble.
Yes.
Okay. So, but will Trio de Facto go on, or now is Trio de Facto became MetalDeFacto? Definitely.
Like Trio de Facto is like a spin-off about covers and a party band, so it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
They can totally coexist. Like we just haven't got back to doing stuff. But we have actually been thinking that hey, we should like when we do some MetalDeFacto stuff, just put a camera and record a couple of more songs and keep the legend going.
Now we were actually talking that we could record today something here and take acoustic guitars here and record something, but then
this interview happened.
The interview ruined our plans.
No, please don't.
It's our own laziness. We
Forgive
can
me.
record any day.
Yeah. Okay. So, which influences do you have out of power metal and or any other kinds of music?
Oh, I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. I also work sort of as a professional composer. I write music for commercials and this kind of stuff, so I have to know about different things. But and I studied ethnomusicology when I was younger, so basically I studied a lot of different cultures and different music. But like what I really enjoy actually at the moment, surprisingly, is retrowave music.
Oh, okay.
It's out of heavy metal. It's basically heavy metal played with machines, but I really love retrowave. I always try to check the new albums, what come out in this.
Okay. Well, I really love in classical music like the big tenor arias. Like that's something I really love. Like Luciano Pavarotti. You've heard it because I always get so excited, so I start doing it myself, and it's quite a lot louder than the normal scene because you use the whole body for resonance and stuff. So, but also I listen to like city pop and future funk and all kinds of shit, from all kinds of genres. I just love music, so if there's something that clicks, then it's great. Like acid jazz, Jamiroquai, I freaking love, and metal is the biggest genre for me, but like. I don't make the distinction that much. I just listen what I feel like, and there's great stuff in most genres for me, my taste.
So now I have a situation for both of you, okay? So you were bad guys, got in trouble, and had life imprisonment as a sentence. You can have nothing with you but 3 albums until the rest of your lives, because one of the guards is a good guy and he gave you this gift. So which albums would you choose? And maybe why? If there is an explanation for it.
I can start. First of all, I would take Halloween Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2. And Stratovarius episode, yes. And the last one would be actually Queensryche and Operation Mindgrab.
Oh, you did it fast, really.
Yeah.
Most
I've been thinking about these things.
Yeah.
You can see it basically here on the tattoos. You're like, wow, why certain bands would be there? Yes.
Okay, 3 albums I would take. Arion, Into the Electric Castle, because it's just a great exploration album with all kinds of genres, and it's just so good. I never get bored of it, and the singers are phenomenal. So that one, maybe this is hard. Blind Guardian, Imagination from the Other Side. That's like the best fantasy kind of escapism thing probably ever. I just really love the songs, and it's hard hitting, and it was kind of a cross point between their early career and the new career, and that's like for me like what I like the most. And third, maybe Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. It's pretty just it's hard to choose one Maiden album because I love so many, I even love the new stuff.
Oh my god, they got them working.
Oh.
Okay, so, but don't go, stay here. So, just to finish our interview, so would you like to leave a message to MetalDeFacto fans who are watching us or listening to us?
I really hope to see you soon on a tour. I'm really like waiting for this when we can play our first tour.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that so many people actually came to Helsinki to see our first show, even though we're small, just starting band, so it's really, really cool. And yeah, of course, we want to, as a return, we want to do like a big tour in Europe and everywhere. But it's hard to organize unless you're already kind of established name. So that's what we're gonna do now. We have to become an established name. And the MetalDeFacto fans are really helping us do that, because you get this kind of word of mouth and kind of they help a lot with the promotion of the band actually, which is like, it's really cool, you know. And not many people are so privileged to have so awesome fans, you know. So we are really, really grateful for them.
Thank you a lot.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening and watching us. Thank you. Yeah, and stay heavy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.